Today is February 6th, 2026, and once again, I have some new release news for you, and we'll start with the best of the week as far as I can figure. It wasn't an amazing first week of February, but there were some notable releases. The first of which, obviously, is Mayhem's Liturgy of Death. We don't get a lot of records from Mayhem, but the last several have been with the same lineup. They've been pretty consistent. It's a pretty good record. I reviewed it. You can read about it on the site. Otherwise, we have the second full-length album from Ensanguinate. This is a Slovenia-based band, a blackened death metal band, heavily influenced by Swedish blackened death metal. Great record. Another record that I reviewed very positively, and one of the best of the month from my point of view. And finally, we have Canvas, an EP from Mors Virum, a progressive death metal band heavily influenced by Gorguts. So it wasn't the most exciting week of new release announcements. A lot of stuff that I just either didn't care about or wasn't effective. But we do start out with a strong one here with the latest full-length album from CENOTAFIO, a Chile-based black and death metal band, and one we haven't heard from for quite a long time, I think since before the pandemic or somewhere nearby. Been about 6 years, it says there. So check out this song. So I'm always stoked whenever Extreme Music has a thrash metal album kind of on their roster. And this May 7th, they're going to release think the debut full length album from Abuser. This is a Polish thrash metal band, which they say is inspired by Morbid Saint, Demolition Hammer, kind of obviously the heavier side of late 80s thrash. Definitely my kind of thing. Let's check out a song here, see what it's all about. I think this is a pretty solid song. I think the band sounds pretty inspired. Definitely, it's in a specific lane that I enjoy, but I also just like the album art. I think it's fairly unique and evocative for what they're trying to do here. So after 7 years, HECATE Enthroned has announced a new album, and it sounds pretty good so far based on this new single, A Gallery of Rotting Portraits. The new album is going to come out on May 29th. It is The Corpse of a Titan, a Lament Long Buried. Now, these guys are usually kind of known as a symphonic black metal band. They kind of introduce themselves as that here in the press release, but this song is not exactly that. You'll find it's more aggressive. It's got some more death metal style vocals. So it gives a certain first impression, but that's not what the whole album is all about. So check out this song, but it's not the whole story. Transcending Obscurity have announced the April 17th release of Muerto's Eclipsed Realms. And I think Muerto is based out of Mexico, based on the band containing a member of NECROSE. But this is something a little bit different with different modern metal influences, naming Amun-Ra, Emptiness, and obviously that's a specific sound, as well as Deathspell Omega. So let's check out that song and see if that meets those expectations. So I'm generally a fan of this artist's work, or the artists behind this work, with members of those bands specifically. So I was interested to check this one out. It met my expectations on some sense. I've listened to the full record already. Solid overall, and I like the attempt to mix modern and kind of classic ideas in there. Pretty interesting for like an abstract doom post extreme metal record. So unique and worth looking into beyond this song. So next up, we have a couple of announcements from Edge Circle Productions, a Norwegian label who you'll remember from records like from Unculture, Sepulture, and several others I've covered over the years. But this one is actually a Chilean band from a member of Invocation Spells, Sign of Evil. They've announced a brand new record that they call a horror speed black metal sound. Obviously, it has elements of post-punk and gothic rock and gothic metal, informing some of their unique choices. And if you remember their work from years ago, you'll understand what I'm saying. But here, this third album is something a little bit more refined and different. Check out the song here. There is nothing good. Now, you might recall I didn't really like the debut from this band, and I never really followed up after that, so I'm interested to take a closer look at this one, see what this is all about, and see how the project has evolved. Because if you remember, Invocation Spells was a band that evolved over each release, and I think that the same is happening here as they iterate and bring different ideas into it. And the second announcement from Edge Circle Productions is the early April release of this third full-length album from SISYPHEAN, a Lithuanian band who sound quite a bit like maybe Mgła-inspired black metal from Poland in some sense. This is heavily atmospheric and melodic black metal, worth checking out here, and we're going to check out the song Blackbird That Brings No Joy. Houston, Texas-based black metal band NECROFIER have signed to Metal Blade, and their latest album, Transcend into Oblivion, will release later this month on the 27th. This record they're saying it's based on the Luciferian transformation, and that should be reflected in the track list. I was interested by that, and so I've checked it out and listened to it a couple of times already. The first single is Servants of Darkness, Guide My Way. Check it out here for a few seconds. I'm generally a fan of this band's stuff. I think they've been sharp throughout their career, and they've obviously been ambitious in terms of touring and whatnot. And so this is maybe the first record that I think is fully fledged. It's kind of realizing a bigger idea, even though they obviously put a lot of work in the previous one. So I thought this was worth checking out. I don't know if it's fully my kind of thing, but definitely a band that is ambitious enough to where I'm interested in what they have to say on this record overall. Smart Records have announced the April 3rd release of Tortural Symphony of the Flesh, the, I think, second full-length album from Unearthly Rites. This is a Finnish death metal band with kind of a punk influence to it, some grindcore in there too. Really good fit for this band otherwise. And you might remember their previous album was released on, I think it was Prosthetic Records. I checked out a little bit, talked about it a little bit, and it was cool to see they put together another record so quickly. Let's check out a song from it, Solstice. And finally, we have another old school death metal influenced album. This is the second full length album from Brazilian death metal band Papa Necros. I wasn't going to check this out based on the band name. That is a stupid band name. I don't really want to buy that, but this is a good record. Anthropomorphy Execution is again the second album from the band. It releases on March 20th via Awakening Records, and we'll talk about it a little bit more after you've heard a clip. So, I mean, this is not a complicated observation here. This band is obviously influenced by stuff like Obituary, Asphyx, and Pestilence. There's a kind of a Van Drunen type cadence to the vocalist. It's as simple as that, and it's a good record in that style. So definitely worth supporting and checking out. I think Awakening Records has done great work throughout their entire discography. Love the reissues especially, but the originals are pure underground stuff and full support for the label. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week. In general, check out the short reviews column I just posted. There's going to be a couple more album reviews this week. I'm behind by several days because of getting sick and whatnot. Feeling better, getting stuff done. Check out the site. Follow on, whatever social media and whatnot, and keep in touch.